it either means that you have sorted it out or your people are doing a lousy job. So let me assume you have sorted it out. Auditor General, can you confirm that it's been sorted out?
Chair, by June 2024, that is in these financial statements, there was none. But in June 2025, the ones we are processing, there is.
With respect to what? Payee, I'm talking about, you understand the traditional problem of lap fund, lap trust, and pensions contributions, where these funds are demanding from counties amounts that still have to go through the verification of assets and liabilities. Is it your report to the Senate that Bomet does not have this problem?
For the year ended 30th June 2024, I'm saying they didn't have, but in the ones we are processing, the year ended 30th June 2025, there is, Chair.
Meshach, it cannot come up in the current year because it is a historical problem. I'm talking about the historical problem. Let's separate the payroll deductions from the historical pensions problems across county governments. And you've been around with us. You know these things, Meshach. You are up in the north and you know that problem cuts across.
Yes, Chair.
Chair, OIG, let's be on the same page. OIG, let's be on the same page. Let's be on the same page. OIG, I'm addressing you because I want you to listen to this. You cannot tell us that the year ended June 2024, there were no issues with lap fund and lap trust in Bomet County. But now beginning July 2024, coming to June 2025, there are issues. Because as the chair is pointing out, these are historical issues. Lap fund, lap trust are historical issues. I mean, unless you omitted it deliberately for whatever reason, if it was not there in any year, then it cannot appear in subsequent years. It's as simple as that.
Unless there was a demand note that came in that particular year.
Chair, in addition, Meshach is one of the senior people in OAG, and I know he has vast experience. So ordinarily, he should have cast doubt on this Note 8 when he didn't see the staff papers, because it should have appeared. So maybe Meshach should tell us, or the audit, and then, because I know these are institutional processes, whether they raised a doubt when they saw that the client did not disclose in their financial statements, so that we can put that matter to rest. So either Meshach should tell us, or the people who are in that hub. I don't know whether you were still there, or when they picked the note, so that we are aware whether this matter was not disclosed or it was disclosed in the financial statements. I yield.
Senator Lelegwe, you had an intervention? Please.
Chair, I was just pointing out that what the governor is pointing at us at Annex 3 is not informing this committee. We are not benefiting from it. As Chair, you cannot, from other reports of other counties, we've been getting detailed status of pending bill registers attached as annexures, but today we are seeing only a summary, and that's why we are asking whether there are pending bills on lap trust, pending bills on staff arrears, because we don't have that report attached here. He has decided just to give us a summary. He has not even given us, the governor has not given us what they submitted the control of budget for payments, and which will help this committee make decisions whether the already pending bills that are not paid are genuine, or the other pending bills. We have not also seen the report of the pending bills committee attached to this report. So I'm saying maybe the governor will submit more of this document to the committee.
Yeah, you know, this is an important starting point, pending bills, because you are talking about people who are doing jobs in your county. If you don't pay them, there's no circulation of money. And we are also going to illustrate shortly how this is related to voiding of transactions. Because we'll go there. You have that problem of voided transactions, which also gives rise to additional pending bills. So you may respond, but Senator Cherargei?
I thought before the measure should clear that aspect. You know, when there's non-disclosure, he should tell us what happened. Either he was there or somebody who did audit was not very, very keen. And you know, Chair, when auditor is not clear, we risk flying blind, which is dangerous. So Meshack should just go on record and tell us whether, when he saw this disclosure of financial statements, whether he noticed that anomaly and raised it. Because I know before the final governor, they give you they normally give you the final draft plus the management letter, maybe or Muriuki through the chair.
Thank you, Chairman. I think maybe before that response, Chair, just as additional info, in our order paper today, Mr. Chairman, we have got, we're going to be voting on conditional additional allocation to county governments. And part of the allocations under column B are actually payments for arrears, for example, for doctors. If we don't have it here as a payable, then it seems they don't need this 21,261,000, which we are supposed to vote for in the afternoon. We have got additional 74 million, which we are supposed to pay for CHPs. It then means it ought to be here. If it's not here, then they don't need the additional funds.
Yeah, so...
Do we shift blame to OG?
Auditor, can you give us the assurance, because your job is to provide assurance.
Chair,
can you give us assurance that those staff payables, there is nothing outstanding in Bomet?
Chair, for this financial year, I need to, for the year ended 30th June 2024, that we are discussing, I need to consult my schedules and report later. But I know for 30th June 2025, which we are processing, we even wrote to the lab trust and the lab fund, and they responded to us, giving us the state of indebtedness. Thank you.
So, Governor, if there was that indebtedness to lab fund, lab trust, how come it was not disclosed in the financial statements?
Chair, I think the auditor is right. For this financial year, we have something that is still pending for our...
No, Governor.
Yes.
They wrote to lab fund, lab trust, maybe because they didn't see it here. In fact, they actually did the right thing. And that could not have been owing for 1 year. It is a historical problem. We know all these counties. It is a historical problem. So it appears that historically you've not been carrying that liability in your books.
If you check in our previous reports, we have not been reflecting. There's nothing. So they are actually right. And the position that has been given by the auditors is the correct position.
Governor, you are not seeing what we are trying to say. That your financial statements do not present a true and fair picture of the entity. They don't. Are you seeing that? You are not the one who prepares these financial statements. You have employed someone to prepare these financial statements.
You're right.
They are not providing a true and fair picture of the enterprise.
You're right, and we'll go back and check on that. Thank you.
What would you like us to do as Senate?
We are taking your advice seriously, because if it is not captured and it is there, then it's not actually reflecting the true position, and that's why I'm saying go back.
But Chair, I think we are involved in too much academic talk here. Governor, if you woke up any governor today in any county and just mention lab fund, they will have something to say about it. I mean, it's not a small matter that you say can easily be forgotten and not included in your financials. It's a serious conversation that has been happening in this country for the longest time. Chair, I want to submit that this is a typical case of material non-disclosure of financials by the Bomet County for reasons that can only be explained by them. It cannot be that in the year 2023-2024, only Bomet County in the 47 counties in the country is one that is so clean, and now we're saying cannot be clean. So clean, then the issues that are coming up in 2024, 2025 are new demands for lab fund and lab trust. It cannot be.
Now, let's build it up, and I'm looking at the time, we are not doing very well. The auditor says 123 million in that list were not supported by payment vouchers and contract documents. 123 million. Auditor, were you subsequently provided with PVs and contract documents to support the 123.9 million in your finding? Because already there's non-disclosure of pending staff payables. Again, we've got 123 million in there without a breakdown.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The documents were provided, but not totaling to 123 million.
What is the variance?
We got documents totaling to around 78 million from the 123 that was queried last year.
So, Governor, how can you owe people when there is no contract, when there is no LSO? How can you have it in your schedule that we owe 123 million and yet you cannot provide the contract documents?
Thank you, Chair. Let me request my CC and CO to respond to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair, and Your Excellency. I want to respond that some of the pending bills were still undergoing verification. So we were looking at removing the ones that we had found the documents as we processed them. So some of them are still did not have those documents as at that date, as at 30th June 2024.
How can you report it as a liability when it does not have that material information?
Thank you, Chair. Some of them are commitments, so eventually we need to pay them.
If there is a commitment,
Yes.
then there must be a contract somewhere.
Yes, Chair.
But the auditor says at the time of audit, 123 million did not have contracts, did not have PVs, did not have LSOs and any supporting documentation.
Yes, Chair. That they were not, as reported, they had not been provided. But for 120, the whole amount, that 123, then they were provided until we have that small balance. And we were still following up. That is at the...
What? How much is a small balance?
Yes, we still had that balance of 50, about 50.
No, that does not tie with what the Auditor General is saying. The Auditor General, you said there's a balance of 70?
The documents that were provided out of the 123 million at the time of verification totaled 78 million.
So remaining 50 million?
50 million.
But Chair, who is supposed to provide these documents?
Is 50 million small balance?
Not where I come from, Chair. Not where I come from. 50 million is a lot of money. But the question that I'm asking, Chair,
We have to
is...
be careful not to send the wrong message to the public.
So who is supposed to provide those documents? You know the way the county government is responding to this question is like somebody's from outside the common bond of the county government of Bomet is supposed to bring them documents, then they verify, then they submit those documents to the auditor. Where are these documents supposed to be coming from? I thought you were supposed to be providing those documents to the auditors yourselves.
Well, again, Chairman, you can't reflect in your books that you have commitments unpaid of 123 when you have got zero documents. Whether it's 45 million, 50 million, or 78, it can't reflect in the books that it's outstanding at 123. And we're being told here that there are no documents, they're still verifying, and it's a small amount. I think there is a bigger problem here, including even, I would have expected also the documentations to the 78 million to be available, so that if for purposes of verification, then you're able to say, out of 123, then we are committing to pay 78, that documentation have been availed to us. Unless you are saying the documentations that you got from the county government satisfied you, and therefore you're reflecting that this amount is 123 less 78 that you have verified based on documents.
So, Governor, do you know how much you owe the people who have done jobs in Bomet? Do you know how much it is?
Yes, Chair, we have a list of pending bills, and we have supplied the same to the controller of budget, and we can avail the same. I think that's what the Senator was asking. It should have been part of our
response. Do you stand with
response.
this 1 billion and 21 million as at the end of the financial year, this amount that has been referred to by the Auditor General?
Yes, Chair.
If you go to the annexure that you have appended to your financial statements, analysis of pending accounts payable, I don't know whether you have your full set of financial statements, which should be like a Bible when you come here. Do you have it? Your full financial statement?
Yes.
If you go to Annex 2, which is on page, I think it's paginated 59. The clerks had circulated the original certificate on electronically. I hope Senator Wakili has received it. Governor, are we there?
Chair.
Just to confirm, we're on the same page. What's the header of your document on page 59?
This is annual reports and financial statement for the year ended June 30, 2024.
Annex?
Annex 2.
Analysis of pending accounts payable.
Yes.
So ordinarily, this is where we go to if you want to see all the people that you owe. So on page 1, you have about 15 entries. Page 2 goes up to 33 entries. Page 4 up to 48 entries. Just go to page 62. So, of the same financial statement. I think just follow it. It's still on the analysis of pending accounts payable. So take, for example, row 53, Bryland Company Limited. Are you there, Governor?
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Routine maintenance of Rapie Bay, Kapta Bulliet, and Kaplele, Kap Mosoni, Kap Mr. Roads, etc. Kap Mr. Roads. There is an amount of. There's an amount. What amount is there?
The 3 million. 3 million.
When was this? When was this work done? When was the contract awarded? What is the contract number, LSO number, for you to consider this to be a valid account payable? Governor, I believe the answer is that it is not there.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
If you go to the next page, again, a lot of blank dates, a lot of blank LPOs, LSOs. How then can we say that these are not ghost invoices that have been put in to get money out of the enterprise? How can you have a debt without a date? That's why we've asked you whether you own the 1 billion. Would the pending bills in Bomet be overstated?
Chair, let me request we go and do it and submit it to the committee.
No, we must have a conversation before we get to that.
Yeah.
Already, we were saying it is understated because it does not have staff payables. But when we come to the actual schedule, you have a debt without a date. Why should that be part of your records? You have a debt without a contract number. How can that be a debt? Wakili, can you enforce collection on a debt without a contractual number, without a contract date?
Chairman, you cannot. And I believe when you look at from page 59 running through, I think the discrepancy that you've picked under item 53 is a reflection of more than 50% of those which are here, because a number of them do not have LPO numbers, do not have date of the LPO. Therefore, it cannot then form a basis of a honest, genuine, payable, or other item that is payable, because there is no contract. Unless the governor wants to go back and cook the contracts, cook the LSOs, backdate them, avail to you, that definitely will now be an answer to these blanks which are existing. But to answer your question, you are unable to do it.
So,
Chair.
Yes, Senator Wambua.
As the governor responds, I think I want to remind him of my initial preliminary question. Do you know the status of your pending bills? Clearly, even if you don't give us an answer, your documents are giving us an answer. You have no clarity. You don't know how much is owed to the people. And the question that I want to ask, in addition to what the chair and Wakili asked, is to the Auditor General. When a document like this is presented to you as evidence of the pending bills, what are you supposed to do? Because what you're being invited to do here, Chair, and I've said it many, many times, you're being invited in this room to do an audit of the Bomet County Executive, which we cannot do. When documents are like this, and Wakili has done well to say actually, the anomalies represent almost 50% of the document. What are you supposed to do?
Thank you, Chair. This was a disclosure of the amounts deemed outstanding from the county executive's point of view. Under the accrual concept currently in force, all polished liabilities, all polished payables would be introduced into the statement of financial position. But for these pending liabilities, usually they include so much, so the practice is we verify them once they are paid. We verify them once they are paid. That's when we track them down from the contract, how it was.
You permit them to pay, then you do your verification after the fact.
OAG, I believe you know the right answer to the question raised by Senator Wambua. And I've reminded you that you are the prosecutor. It is, you are the one leading the charges. You probably, but then, Meshach, were you the one who did the audit? So there are two things you didn't ask, which you ought to have asked in that financial year. That which you have now asked in this financial year, you know, the lab trust and lab fund, I'm happy you have corrected it. You have cited 123 million, which do not have contracts and payment vouchers. But these annexure here indicates that the figure is much higher. Some of your colleagues go ahead and say that the entity did not do an aging analysis of their debt. Now, if half the records don't have dates, obviously you can't do aging. And perhaps the reason for exclusion of dates is to ensure that this committee cannot see that maybe they're not doing FIFO, first in, first out. You remember in Homa Bay, you picked randomly a case which had been outstanding for a very long time. So there has to be improvements in the manner in which you manage your pending bills. Now, have you done any task forces, any verification of your pending bills? Have you commissioned anything?
Yes, we have.
Is there a report?
We have a report. I think
When was the report done?
The last one was in 2023, 2024. Yes.
It was obviously not useful, because if it was in 2023, 2024, and in which financial year are we in? 2023, 2024. Ideally, we should have seen a complete register of pending bills.
We have a report, Chair, but I think along the line you were told that these pending bills committees should not be used. That's what we were informed.
So it means that the committee did not complete its work.
They completed and they submitted a report. I think in April 2023, I have a report even in my office.
If they have completed a report, why do we have in the financial statements payables without dates, without contract numbers?
Chair, I need to go and verify, but I mentioned the issue of ineligible pending bills, which didn't have any documentations, but we still capture them. Even in that report, I have a very long list of people who are claiming they did work for the county government of Bomet, but there are no documents. So,
do you still believe that you owe 1.02 billion?
From the claim, Chair, and until I've proved that the claim is not correct, it is my position that we owe them money until they provide documentations.
You owe them money until they provide documentation. I think, Governor, you are being defensive, and we are trying to help you. I think just step back a little bit. Step back a little bit. You might benefit from this conversation. Something is not right in your team, particularly the people with custody of pending bills. And I want you to have an open mind, because whatever we'll say here might help you to crack the whip when you go back home. I do not want defensive lines. Let's have a conversation. Yeah? Let's have a conversation that's going to help you.
So can you confirm to us then if you have agreed to step back and let's have a conversation? Yeah?
Right.
That's okay?
Yes.
So the documents, the pending bills that you have provided to us, are they verified? All of them, are they verified?
The ones that we have supplied were verified, but I've seen their omissions, Chair, and that is what we want to admit. And I agree that we need to have a conversation so that I will also be painted to look bad in the eyes of the people of Bomet, and even before this committee.
So then, is it your position that then this 123 million, Chair, we forget about it for now? Because, I mean, if you are saying you have realized that some of them don't have sufficient documentation and they form part of the total sum, then are you saying we forget about the total sum for now, we deal with it later after you have gotten documentation, or are you saying?
Chair, because it is in our records, I think we need to do something about it, because how did it land in our records? That should be the question.
You're supposed to do something, Chair. Who is supposed to do that something? It's your documents. Are you disowning your documents?
That's why I've requested that I be given maybe a week. I do and submit.
Chairman, allow me to point out two things here. Annex 4, which the governor has given us, has got a schedule of what has been paid as pending bills of 539 and an outstanding amount of 481. That is his document. It's at page, it's Annex 4 from the annexures. And he's admitting that Note 8 here from the regional certificate has got a number of outstanding payments which do not have documents. Which one do we go for? The one which has been paid, because I believe this is inclusive. The figure here is reflected in Note 8, meaning you've already committed to pay, and you're now saying these documents, these outstanding bills do not have documents to support whether they are payable or not. Which one, Chairman, do we go with?
Governor, you may respond, but I think you don't need to, if there's something that cannot be explained at the instance, you must own up and tell us what measures you're going to take to ensure that there's clarity. All these questions you're asking are rotating around the same thing, and they keep coming because you are trying to defend the indefensible. Do you agree that the omission of staff debtors is a serious omission?
It is, Chair. I agree. This is a serious omission. That's why I requested for time, go and correct and report.
No. You are the CEO. You have
Yes.
clever people you have employed. What directions are you giving before we make our recommendations to your team?
Of course, I will take disciplinary actions against officers that
No. Before disciplinary action, you know, administrative action does not need to be disciplinary. It can even be a letter or a warning or a reprimand or training. In fact, whatever conversations we're having here, I hope they're listening in so that they know what their obligation is. But you as a team leader, I'm not hearing you, say that, yes, we have noted the omission. I hereby direct officer so-and-so to make good that omission within certain time frames. Does that have to come from the Senate?
Not really, Chair. But I thought probably I will communicate once I'm back in my office. But if the committee need to hear that from me seated here, I will do so, Chair. Because this is a serious omission, and it is also very embarrassing to me when I appear before you with incomplete documents. It doesn't reflect well on me being the CEO of the county government of Bomet.
Secondly, if you're told you owe somebody something, there must be something that, an evidence of a contract, or evidence or some demand that has been made. That demand could be through an invoice, payment voucher, LSOs, LPOs. If you have so many records here without those critical attributes, do you think they should be in your books? Don't you think there could be people trying to steal from the county by lodging ineligible claims?
I can't deny that, Chair, because when the documents are incomplete, unless there is a proof that these are genuine, we can't deny what you're saying.
Now, do you then think that the preparer of this financial statement is in collusion with those people?
That's a possibility, Chair.
Because how then would those records without dates and contract numbers find themselves here? That fake claimant cannot come to the financial statements. Someone within the organization is stacking up.
I totally agree, because there are instances where we have even disciplined the officers and even false claims, because there are instances that we've taken action. So and that's why I want to go back and check on this, and if it comes to my attention and confirm that it is actually false, then I will discipline them, and I will even provide records to this committee, Chair. That one I want to assure you.
So, members, I don't think the governor he says he's as guilty as charged. So we should just convict him.
Chairman, the governor has admitted here that that was a grave omission, which is actually indeed a grave omission, by the way, Professor. That one, you might not take personal responsibility because it's done by officers, but it's grave. But I want to hear from you whether, besides that omission on statutory deductions payable, do you have any other arrears outstanding for your staff, employees, on any cadre which ought to have equally been disclosed and could not have been disclosed as payables?
Maybe for the last financial year, where and I think they have been it has been captured by our auditors, we still have 326 million arrears in terms of salaries, which have been captured by our auditors. And there was also another 5 million in terms of per diems and allowances to the staff.
Honorable members.
The last one for me.
Okay, Senator Maruma.
Yeah, my name is, let me come on record, Senator Maruma, Senator for Taita Taveta, Vice Chair to this committee. I just want to find out if the table that was referred to in Annex 4 by Senator Wakili Sigei, Annex 1, under the column for roads, public works, the pending bill is 365,156,000, the first table, 861. But when you come to the next table, that figure is put under social services. That is 365,156,861. Is that a typing error? The Annex 4. Yes.
371.
It was 365, that was what was remaining to be paid. But the next table on the payment plan, that figure is coming under social services. Is it a typing error, or you just decided to interchange it for whatever reasons?
Chair, that is an error because even the budget of social service cannot get to that.
Okay.
But then will it support the summation of 481? Because if it sums up, it means then there is a problem with the earlier figures. Because this column has got this figure at 481. Actually, this. You get 481 by adding the figures here. Sorry. I'm saying, Chairman, that the column on this particular aspect that has been highlighted gets a summation of 481 million, which of course has included, there is 365. And in Annex 1, the 365 was on a different department.
Okay.
And a payment that has been proposed to be made on social services has got actually itemized figures: 121 in second quarter, 121 in third quarter, 121 in the fourth quarter, at 365.
Just interchanged.
Yeah, so Governor, when you come to the Senate with these things, we read them. These guys are clever. Nowadays they know where to look. And this also, again, casts you in bad light. For us to be able to make progress, honorable members, on pending bills, we have established that the financial statements do not present a true and fair picture of the entity by omission of staff payables and by material non-disclosure in Annex 2 that has a pending bills register. And so we are unable to tell whether 1 billion is indeed the right amount. Auditor General, now that we have transitioned to accrual, this becomes even much more important, because if they're going to capture this as a liability and yet you don't have very material information about the contracts, then we have a problem. I think we must also agree with the control of budget that she should not accept any payment plan on the basis of unverifiable pending bills. Because you can't tell me this is my payment plan, and then when I ask you who do you want to pay, it is just a name and amount. That cannot be. So we must find a way of tying that. So in our recommendations, we must talk to the control of budget. But Auditor General, even though you have done your exit, I hope that in your report, there is a proper, deep, thorough analysis of pending bills.
There is, Chair.
Okay, so we can, I think we are not closing this matter, but we are expressing our dissatisfaction with the state of affairs and asking the Auditor General to report on it in the next audit cycle.
I want to take two things with your permission on that issue. One, I want to request the Governor, if you will, because this is a house of record, to revise his statement that he believes that the pending bill that's presented, you owe people some money until they give you documents to prove it. That's a very dangerous statement to make. Secondly, Governor, have you said that these figures in Annex 4 are a product of typing error? That's what you said.
There was actually copied wrongly. I think they must have copied wrongly. Because when you see social service and
That's okay. All that put together is what people call typing error. I don't know where you were in the year 2009, Chair. That time I was working for the Nation Media Group, and my mind is very, very fresh about a very serious typing error. By then, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance, who then later became President of the Republic, a typing error of 9.2 billion. You remember that?
remember.
And there's a correlation. I just checked with my colleague here that your annual allocation this year, the equitable share will be 9.2 billion. So you seem to have an appetite for typing errors. Check on these typing errors, my friend. They could land you in a lot of trouble. I thank you, Chair.
Members, let's proceed to another matter that we had analyzed earlier, procurement. We had observed that there seems to be serious problems with regards to procurement in the county. Is the head of supply chain present?
She's present.
Who's the head of supply chain? Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Madam Beatrice Laboso. I'm the Director of Supply Chain Management.
Are you a member of the Institute of Supply Chain Management?
Yes, I am a member of KISM.
Do you have a membership number?
Yes, I have.
What is your membership number?
My number is 69171.
69171. Were you in office when this audit was done?
Yes, I was there.
Did you see our recommendations on if you go to the report on the routine maintenance of roads, there are about 4 road projects which indicate that the procurement function in Bomet operates with impunity and contrary to laid down laws. Routine maintenance of Magiger, Kakele, Chiramgoi Road, construction of Kiswahili Njerian Bridge, construction Nyatembe Tilanik Road, routine maintenance of Mochiket Road. We are not going to go into the exact details because of time, but what cuts across all those issues is impunity. Contracts are signed 4 days after notification of award, contrary to Section 135(3) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. It cuts across all those issues. What kind of law do you use in Bomet?
Chair, we use the Public Procurement and Disposal Act 2015, which we are supposed to wait for the 14 days.
So why did you sign contracts 4 days after notification of award and not 14 days?
I think what happened, Chair, was that there were some errors in our letters of award, because what normally happens when a bidder is recommended for award of contract, that we have 2 separate letters which we normally write to the bidders. There is one called notification of award, which we normally give to the winning bidder, and some other, and we give what we call regret letters to those bidders who never won the contract. After the 14 days, we are supposed to write what we call an award letter. So I think in that mix, there was some errors which we made in the letters of award, but we have since streamlined.
Who committed the error?
The letters of award were written by the CEO, Rhodes.
Or you are trying to get yourself out of it?
No.
You are saying an error was committed. Who committed the error?
The person who wrote the notification.
Who takes professional responsibility within the enterprise? We are always lynching accountants here. We are always lynching lawyers here. What is the responsibility of the head of supply chain within the enterprise? Isn't it to ensure that all officers comply with the provisions of the Act?
It is.
Did you see this observation by the Auditor General before in the management letter?
Yes, Chair, we saw it.
So if it was in the management letter, why were you not able to clarify to the auditor that which we are explaining to the Senate today?
Chair, we provided the right notification letters of award to the auditor at that time.
Why is it still here if it was provided to the auditor? Auditor, they are claiming that they gave you the right information, but you went ahead and reported that they were not compliant.
Chair, they didn't provide that right information, and I know if I was to pull out their response to our draft report, the report we give them showing, the report we are about to issue, their response to it would confirm they didn't show it to us.
Chair, where are the correct letters you are citing here? Are they there?
Yes, they are.
Where are they? We want to look at them.
Now,
allow me also to intervene.
Yes,
No,
yes, Central.
It's crazy to listen to such statements where somebody is saying it was an error. I'm going through this document. The first one, that is the routine maintenance of Makigar Kapkele Cheramgoi Road. She said that it was an error. So this error appeared on the 28th of November 2023, 4 days after the award on the 24th of November 2023. That, let's take it as an error. Completely different contract, completely different project. The second one, an error also occurred on the 9th of January 2024, which award was given on 5th of January 2024 on construction of Kiswahili Njerian Bridge connecting Silibwet Township. So this, she wants us to assume also was another error. Similarly, the third project, the same 4 days signing within or rather against the provisions of the law. So Beatrice, surely it cannot be an error. And if it's an error, show us those documents which you are saying the right letters are here. We have your documents. I had earlier on raised, Chairman, that I received it today. I'm willing to run through it to see whether they are there or not. And it cannot be an error that you commit an error in the first project, which is issued or rather awarded 2-3 months before another one, and the same error of 4 days occurs, and subsequently another 2 months, another similar error occurs.
Well, if you went further,
explanation,
there is another paragraph on irregular waterworks. Again, irregular contracts, contract agreements signed before lapse of 14 days, irregular award of contracts, irregular contract variation. When the auditor says irregular, it means it contravenes a law. So it is an offense. And that's why you can see, Governor, sometimes you might complain, why is the EACC camping in Bomet? But you may have noticed that on all these irregular contract awards, irregular contract variation, all these things that the officer is saying are errors, the resolution of the Senate was for the EACC to investigate and recommend prosecution. The second resolution was the Institute of Supply Chain Managers to take action on their professional member number 69171. EACC, are these matters in your matrix, these procurement irregularities?
Yes, Chair. The procurement irregularities mentioned are under investigation by EACC subsequent to the recommendation of the committee, especially after highlighting the irregularities in the dates in which the letters of award were issued, as well as other issues in following the procurement irregularities as provided by the Public Procurement Act.
So, Governor, what action did you take when you saw this report, when you saw the recommendation of the Senate? The Senate had invited EACC and KISM, but internally, have you taken any action to ensure that these matters do not recur? Because we can go further and point out to you some of the monkey games. I mean, if you look at most of the contracts, they are 3.9, 4.9, they're just below the 5 million threshold, which is a smoking gun. Tells you that procurement has become almost a crime scene. Have you taken any action internally, be it a reprimand, be it training, be it reorganization, to ensure that you do not have 2 full pages of audit issues on procurement irregularities.
Chair, thank you so much for that. And this, it's a concern. And we have since trained our officers. But in the same line as the director has mentioned, when they followed up this issue, they also gave me letters that were corrected then. But the question is, one of the senators has asked is, why did they supply this documentation when the auditors were in Bomet? So one could be the issue of capacity, that's what I've said, but we have since trained. There have been also a lot of reorganization. We also lost some of our
capacity.
Yes, some.
Madam Laboso does not look like someone who came from school the other day. Body language, she appears to be mature and knowledgeable.
She has officers who are supporting her within the departments, because each and every department has a procurement officer. So, and there are so many documents that she is dealing with, because there are so many, there are hundreds of these. So
now, as a result,
yes,
she has to deal with EACC. You see? If there's already so much that they're dealing with, now an additional stakeholder they have to deal with is EACC. Because they could not just do the simple and correct thing of providing the documents to the auditor when the auditor was in Bomet.
I don't want to say much about this, but this is something that it captured also my attention, and as I've said, we have been...
So let me ask you a question there.
Yes.
So, Governor, you're saying you saw the letters.
Yes.
So if you have the letters, why was it difficult to share the same letters with the EACC?
I think we have supplied some of these documents have actually been called by the EACC.
They're not with the EACC, with the auditor.
Yeah, that is a question that you asked. And the position of the auditors is they didn't see, but we have supplied to this committee. They are available.
Are we able to no, it does not really work that way.
Yes.
That's not how it works.
But Chair, even let's assume they have supplied. Let's have them now. If you have supplied, let's have them, so that we also, discount the fact that they are saying they did not receive, yet you have supplied.
I think the annex. What is it?
You see the risk, Governor.
Yes.
We understand Mchezwa town. When the auditor reveals some of these things, what your procurement guys will do, they'll call back the contractors and give them something different to sign that is within the timelines.
And they're called correct letters.
And then they are called correct letters. Then we are told it was an error. And yet you're just trying to rectify things to comply with the law. So, Senator, I think we can look at them, but they will not be very useful. It does not take away the irregularity. It does not take away the criminality. And
Go to the action, Chair, and remind them, the action is not today. The action is at the time of audit.
The time of audit.
That's where the issue is.
And there are small things, 3 million, 4 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, which is inviting the EACC to open almost 5 files in Bomet. So, Governor, if it concerns you, if it worries you, because I don't know why you look like these things don't worry you, but it is possible to have an audit report that is not 300 pages. It's possible. By people doing the right thing. It is possible for you to have an audit report where nothing is referred to the EACC. By people doing the right thing at the right time. Senator Chiranki.
Maybe, Chair, I'm still stuck to where the procurement, Madam Laboso said that there was an error of date. And no one has answered the question, where is the real letters that was provided? Because apart from what you have said, below 5 million, I really want to see the letter. The OAG are not saying he has not seen the letter. Can maybe the governor provide us with the correct...
You see Annex 7. Annex 7.
Annex 7, I don't know, let me Annex 7.
Let's be careful also, members, that the resolution of the committee was the EACC to do the investigation.
Yes.
So let us not be the ones investigating. Let them look at those letters, confirm their authenticity, and indeed, if there's an explanation, then I believe that EACC can advise us that, yes, we have seen the letters, this matter is not irregular, as claimed.
But it is only for one Magrer Kapkeleje Ramkoi Road.
You have Annex 9 for others, I think Annex 9.
Okay. I can see Annex 9. There is nothing under Annex 9. This annual development plan. Annex 10. So my question only, Chair, will be, why was this letters or this information provided to the OAG? Governor, why was it not provided to OAG?
Chair, let me clarify.
Yes.
At the time we were auditing these financial statements, they were not provided. But during the verification for this meeting, they were provided.
That is on Tuesday last week.
Yes.
So can you give us an assurance that what was provided was authentic?
Chair, we don't have that capacity.
Correct. So let's leave it to the institution with the capacity. Honorable members, we have a very few minutes to go. Honorable members, let's go to Chebunyo Dairy Milk Processing Plant. The details are in the report of the Auditor General. You have spent about 130 million on this. That is the one that comes after the steel footbridge at Ndaraweta. Then you have Chebunyo Dairy Milk Processing Plant. I think anything that looks like this appears to be a project that is positive and enabling. The amounts there is 85 million. You have supplied equipment worth 45 million, delivered on 16 July 2020, 4 years back, but had not been installed. The contractor was not on site. Governor, could you tell us why this is the case? This is a value for money question.
Thank you, Chair. The auxiliary works for the project were completed in the year 2020, financial year 2024-2025, which included electrical works. The machines, those supplied, were not installed, since the supplier was not paid for supply of installation of the equipment. This was occasioned by delayed approval of cooperative policy that was supposed to enable support to cooperative societies. However, the policy has since been approved and now awaiting publication as per the attached correspondence from the County Assembly communicating the policy approval. And this is a project that we did with the support of World Vision. They contributed money, we contributed to one account, but in the process, we were advised by the controller of budget that we were supposed to have a very clear policy in our support to cooperatives. So we initiated that process, but it took a while. I mean, it took some time with the assembly, and that is why we could not extend support to these cooperatives so that they could pay the outstanding debt to the supplier who refused to install.
So, Governor, this sounds like a good project.
It is, yeah.
It sounds like the kind of things that county government should be doing. But it is an example of how not to do it. You bought equipment when the auxiliary works were not done. You bought equipment before the place where the equipment was to be installed was complete.
There were some small works that were remaining, Chair. And that is what we completed through the support of the department, not directly to the cooperative.
In 2024, 2025,
when the equipment was
but the equipment was bought in 2020.
Yes, and it landed in 2021, I think.
Was delivered on 16th July 2020.
Yes.
2020. So why I thought there was a process. You know, you can't buy the equipment before the place is ready. Logically, isn't it?
It's true, Chair.
So as we speak now, the people around Chebunyo Dairy Milk Processing Plant are not getting value from this investment.
Correct, as reflected by this audit report.
So what is your, let's first start with, what's your plan? What's, you know, how do you make sure that this 130 million that's been spent here, there is value for money for it, before we apply our minds to the illegalities around it?
Now that we've been able to complete our policy, and we have a budget, and with this budget, the current budget, we have captured some money, included some money for installation, that is clearance of what is pending to this contractor so that he can do the installation. So we have the money. Because it's only around 5.9 million that we have not paid.
If I was a farmer in this region, when will I be able to bring my milk to this processing plant?
Chair, I want to promise that in the next 3 months, we'll have this equipment installed. Because our plan was, because we are supplying milk to ECD centers, that this cooperative will be able to package the milk for us and sell to us as county government. That was the plan.
So, sorry, Chair, there's something that is not clear. You are saying that you've not commissioned the project or the plant because you are yet to pay some amount to the contractor.
Right.
Yet, in your response, you're saying that auxiliary works of the project have been completed in the financial year 24-25, which include electrical works. And then you say management has budgeted for UST line to be done in the current financial year. Plans are underway for installation, testing, and commissioning of the plant. So have you installed the project, or you're not using the project because you've not installed it, or is it because you've not paid some amount to them?
I think it should be clear, these are different contractors. The contractor who was constructing the building is different from the one who was supplying the equipment. So those are two different contractors.
Why aren't you using the project? Let's start again. Why aren't you using the...
Because the equipment has not been installed. And the installation was supposed to be done by the supplier. But
so has it been supplied?
Yes, the equipment is on site.
Mm-hmm.
The installation has not been done. Mm-hmm. Reason for this is because we still owe some money to the supplier. And the reason why we didn't pay this money was because of the cooperative policy. We made requisition to support this cooperative to the controller of budget, but she refused to approve. Reason was we were supposed to have a policy support of this support going to cooperatives. So, and we have done that. We have done the approval has been done by the assembly, and we have a budget for the same. And that's why I'm promising that in the next 3 months, this milk processing facility will be operational. That one I want to commit, Chair.
Chair, it's not clear to me again. So maybe I'm a low taker. They're called slow learners. I want to ask this question again. You know, the contract was for 3,520,000, and it was awarded for the supply, installation, training, and commissioning of Chebunyo milk processing plant. Now you are saying who has not been paid?
The supplier of the equipment.
And this 43 million was for what?
That was, we still have a part payment that is remaining of 5.9.
Okay.
And the supplier gave a condition, clearance, and then you will install.
But was the facility ready for installation of equipment?
It was, Chair.
What about these things that you are saying, auxiliary works that have been done in 2024?
There was some minor correction that was done in terms of the millimeters of wires that were used. And that is why the department stepped in to correct that from the assessment of the supplier.
Is World Vision still talking to Bomet County government?
It is, and it is also a concern. So they have also been pushing us to complete because it is an investment and they must see value for that investment that they made.
So this equipment, where are they? They're still lying in cartons or in a container?
Yeah, in the building that has been constructed.
Since 2000?
Yeah, they are.
They've not been tested because it was to be for supply, installation, training, and commissioning. So you have no idea even whether they're going to work.
But that will be now the responsibility of the supplier because they have not been tampered with. They are still in boxes.
So from 2020 up to now, you've not completed payment of part of the 43 million?
We haven't. It's in this financial year that we have the money.
And he's talking of 5.9 million standing between this thing and the milk farmers of Bomet. Even though your officer had said 50 million was small money, it might mean that 5.9 is much smaller. Senator
Chairman, I have physically visited this particular project or facility, and I would like to reserve my comments. I just want to appreciate the fact that Governor is saying the facility is ready for installation of the equipment. It's one of the projects, maybe for purposes of disclosure, Honorable Chair, we are going with the committee on Friday on devolution. I'm happy that we will have a report on the readiness of the facility to have the facility operationalized, because the last time I was there, that's why I said I reserved my comments, it wasn't ready, but I'm happy the governor is saying it's now ready. We definitely will look forward to have the facility run. But then again, I equally is unable to understand the responses that were given by Governor to Senator Maruma on the outstanding payment. But unfortunately, Chair, this is a 2020 project, so it would have been a priority one, because the reason why it was taken to Chepalungu, it's actually in Chepalungu constituency. The reason why I believe it became a priority project there is because this is the only economic activity that can be done by the people within that constituency, because they don't grow tea, but they do milk. And so with the prioritization that the county government would have done, 2020, it's now 5 years down the line, we're still hoping and expecting that in 3 months' time we will install this. But of this one, this is the only one that has been picked. I do not know whether you will permit me to also ask the governor to prioritize, if any other such facilities are in your plan for the county. Because if it were to be operationalized, the number that are existing, it would help the people of Bomet in a very big way. But I want to just leave it at that for now.
Yeah, you said there could be others, and there are others in this report. So there we are dealing with milk, there is sweet potatoes, and there is a fresh produce pack house. Maybe we'll want to deal with them globally, so that we see the level of sensitivity the governor has for the hardworking farmers of Bomet. Senator Chirage.
Maybe, Chair, the OAG, before you came here, were you able to visit this project? And number two, maybe finally, as Senator Sikea has said, Governor, now that this project was in 2020, and you are saying the contractor there's an amount that have not been paid, is there a plan, have you budgeted with the county assembly to ensure you pay so that you can install? Because, Chair, we have a similar, and I know Sigay might know, one that is taking away our money in cabinet that has consumed 1.2 billion in Nandi, but it's yet to produce even or package half a liter of milk. So the clarification I need, Governor, can you confirm to us, because, Chair, I think we have agreed that in January this year we might visit some of these counties and see that some of these projects on the ground. Have you budgeted for, and maybe if the OAG has cited this project?
And Chair, allow me, as he responds to that, I crafted the question about other existing milk plants, if they are there. The reason I'm asking that, Honorable Chair, is because Governor has told us here that he has been unable to pay the balance because of lack of a policy. If 43 million was paid, which policy was used to pay, and not that could be used to pay 5 million, which is outstanding?
Governor?
Thank you. Maybe starting with the policy that was used. There was one that was running from 2014, which had a number of things, including our, we call enterprise fund. So, but what the control of budget insisted was a clear one, showing how these cooperatives are being supported. And that is why we separated the enterprise fund and also support to cooperative. So we had to split because of that demand from the control of budget. And Chair,
unfortunately, we don't have the benefit of seeing the correspondence with the control of budget. So now it's your word against the control of budget. Actually, members, just allow, if you go to the sweet potato cooperative processing plant, again, it's a World Vision funded project.
And it is operational, Chair.
It looks like a beautiful idea. You know, the sweet potatoes in my county, Kabondo. I would love to do a project like this. But the auditor indicates that the machines donated by World Vision Kenya had not been put to use. Is that the state of affairs?
No, it is operational, Chair. I think the auditors have confirmed that.
When did it start operating? Because physical verification on 17th September 2024, roughly 1 year ago, because this is a past report, revealed that the machines donated by World Vision had not been put to use. Do you have any evidence that this very good idea is working?
We have even supplied photographs for the same and, in our response, but it's operational, I can confirm.
Auditor, have you paid a visit again?
Chair, my team visited this plant in July and they found it operational.
Okay. Senator Wakil?
Which page is that photograph?
You're okay. So this is, at least this is working. At least some World Vision thing that is working.
Yes.
Fresh Produce Pack House at the Youth Farmers Trading Center. 7.225 million has been paid. But the auditor says the project had been abandoned and the contractor was not on site. A Fresh Produce Pack House at Youth Farmers Trading Center. Again, sounds like a very good idea for the hard-working farmers of Bomet. But you paid 7.2 million, but the project is abandoned. The land on which it was constructed, there was no title deed provided for audit review. Governor, could you give us some good news that this has now been completed?
Yes, your cooperatives. Yeah.
Just go straight. We have just about 10 or 15 minutes max. Just let us know whether it's complete and whether it's working, because this is a value for money question.
Thank you, Chair. The project is 95% complete. We had an issue with only one contractor who was doing the finishing, and we have since terminated the contractor. We are giving out the remaining works, which will be completed before maybe in the next 3 months.
What is the problem, Governor? This is also a 2020 procurement. Payments were done in 2020. Today is 4th of November 2025. 5 years later. 5 years later. This is Youth Farmers Trading Center. That's why you're having problems with Gen Z. What's the problem here?
Chair, you know, I come from Bomet. Such a statement, this team comprises, as Chair said, intelligent people. I know youth farmers. I have been there. It's abandoned. You can't tell us it will be ready in 3 months. It is not. Give us documents to show you have terminated the contract if you have. Give us documents that you have already availed the documentations on the new contractor on site and the timelines. Chairman, this is just child play we're being taken through here. I have been to youth farmers.
Chairman.
It has no fence. It's an open field. That project is abandoned.
It has the fence and the gate is there. We have a letter from the contractor, MyMac Company Limited, dated 11 August 2025. And in the letter, they are accepting to relinquish the work, be valued, and we give to another contractor. That is the only pending work that we have for.
But that does not point to completion.
Yeah, this amount to share.
We are interested in the youth farmers getting value for money for something that was initiated in 2020.
Yes, once it is completed, Chair, it will. It will.
Chair, when you talk about due to budgetary constraints, on a project of 13.9 million rolling budget, why should you roll a budget for 13.9 million since 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, up to now? Talking about budgetary constraints for a project worth 13.9 million to mitigate on the challenges of unemployment for youths. Really?
I think this question goes back to the governor. Just take your seat, because the details are neither here nor there. The details are as provided by the Auditor General. What you are giving us are alternative accounts which are not verifiable, because you have seen you've got your own version, the Senator has a different version, and the Auditor General also has a different version. Governor, I would think this would be something. Is this in Bomet Center?
This along it's along Bomet Longisa Road.
Next to opposite Mother Angel Hospital, your way to Bomet.
Okay, yeah, because I use that route.
Chair, I wanted to engage that man for a minute. I don't know what position he holds in the county government. Okay. Chief Officer, so if you allow me, because he has given us a document, he has read something on his phone and mentioned the date. In August, you got a letter from somebody saying that they will relinquish the site and you can give it to someone else. So between that time and now, what have you done?
Thank you, Chair. The EGP system was, the procurement system was completed recently, and we are in the process of giving out.
You know, it reminded me of a story. One day, somebody was supposed to pay somebody 5,000, and the banks had gone on strike. But that debt had gone for 3 months. So when he came to me, told, all the banks have gone on strike. EGP just came the other day, really. You want to talk about EGP now?
Chair, why I asked that question is because, Chief Officer, these are very intelligent people. And the time that we have here is precious time. Don't attempt to play games with this committee. Unless then you want to tell us that you want to go back to the same errors that we have pointed out to you, that you will float a tender, you get people to apply, you verify, you award the tenders, you give sufficient time for people to complain if they have to complain, and within 3 months all that will be done and the work will be completed and the facility will be in use. My friend, we know better. You rather not say anything than say things that reflect so badly on you and your appreciation of the work that you're doing today. You need to apologize to the people of Bomet, because clearly you know where you're standing. You know if you are going to follow the procedure, this facility will not be available for use in 3 months. You know that for free. Why are you trying to be smart?
So, Governor, I don't know why I get this feeling that your team does not seem to be very passionate about some of these public service issues, because you conceive very good programs. That one of dairy, this one of sweet potato, this one of the fresh produce pack house, they're excellent ideas. Why are you not seeing them to the logical conclusion? Because that is a measure of a leader. That is a measure of a manager. You take over complicated things, but you give them life. You are not breathing life into good ideas. You've got a lot of good ideas, but they're done badly. Messes everything up. Because of time, let's look at another one. Dr. Laboso Memorial Mother and Child Wellness Center. Again, sounds good because counties do not really do child wellness centers. In fact, pediatrics has been ignored in many counties. So in 2022, the contractor was paid 97% of the contract sum, 286 million. Is this complete, Governor?
Chair, the structure is now complete and we have started the equipping.
Is the work done 97%?
It's now complete, Chair, it's complete.
Auditor General?
Chair, it is complete as per BQ, but it is not operational because of lack of equipment.
Lack of?
Equipment.
So the 286 million, was it just for infrastructure? Or it included in equipping?
Like generator which has been supplied, kitchen equipment which have been supplied, oxygen generator which has been supplied. So beds, I think, are being delivered this week.
Is that part of the 286?
No, beds were not part of that, but the oxygen generator.
It's a separate contract?
Yes. Oxygen generator, the generator itself, and the kitchen equipment were part of this.
Okay, so another good idea. So if women and children cannot get services from it, is it done? You have laid cabro, you have put in a kitchen and all those things. But the essence of a woman, mother and child wellness center is to provide certain services to the residents of Bomet and hopefully even the neighbors, because we don't have such in the neighboring counties. What is your plan to complete this wonderful idea?
It's true, Chair. The reason why we delayed in equipping was because we had been given a promise that the national government will be giving us equipment, but somehow it delayed. And that is why we have budgeted the money, although we have this national equipment support project that we also want probably get the heavy equipment like MRI and CT scan to install in the same facility. We have since made requisition for the same, but beds and some of the laboratory equipment will be purchased by the county government of Bomet. And hopefully, because it is in plan, probably in the next visit of His Excellency the President, it will be one of the projects that will be opened.
Chair, the query has a second limb that the project sits on three parcels of land, 2 of which have no title deeds. Do they have title deeds now?
We are in the final stages of acquiring title deeds because there were succession issues.
Maybe, Chair, Governor, you have said the equipment is. I saw the President launch something about equipping, like MES. I don't know, they call it management something. These equipments that you will get, will it be part of, is Dr. Laboso Memorial Mother and Child Wellness Center be part that will get those equipments?
Correct, the CT scan and the MRI.
So I saw the rollout. Maybe since you sit in COG, as the national government, by the agreement with county governments, have been able to supply the CT scan and other equipment to the hospitals.
Yeah, we have been able to receive one for our referral hospital. We have a CT scan under the same program.
So how many is Bomet receiving CT scans?
One.
One to the referral hospital?
Yes.
And which other you are also receiving?
For the mother and child, a CT scan and an MRI.
So have they delivered or they're in the process of delivery?
They are in the process. In fact, we've been doing follow-up. And even the company visited the structure and they made some adjustment in the room where the equipment will be supplied. I mean,
Chair, sorry for taking long. In the implementation and follow-up of these equipments, unlike medical equipment supply of the last 2015, I think 2020, and I remember and then governor refused to sign, or he signed later reluctantly. Is it part of the training and updating